Awesome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to... Oh, word. Don't use that word? Start? Don't use... We don't... I didn't... Oh. Oh, Pringles over backer... Oh, my word. You would. You would. You would say that, Solomon. You would. A little rude, but it's okay. Fine. Okay. And I take it I'm doing the 5 out of 10. I take it. You can't use the word for 5 minutes. It's a word band. Okay. Okay. Well, let us enter into the stage of being able to have spicy Pringles off the start. Nummy Pringle. That makes more sense. Okay. So here we go. Let us embark together. All right. Eat 2. Okay. All right. So just 2. Okay. Actually, I haven't had Pringles in years. Okay. Well, that's fair. Oh, and there's a reward wheel too. Oh, you're wonderful. All right. As I've learned over time, I need to first do this. Oh yeah, now you guys got the reveal of what we're going to be talking about. Tom's all excited about it. Alrighty. Actually, Tom doesn't know what I'm talking about. Right? Yes, it is. Alright, the reward wheel that we are getting today for today's focus is... Chat gives you 3 compliments. 3 compliments? Guys, you already give me enough compliments as it is. Like, you guys, me being here is complimentary enough, in my opinion. But, you know, that's a great beard. Oh, wow. Best beard in the world. Whoa! In the word. Best beard in the word. Not in the world. The word, people. best beard in the world. I don't even know what that means, but you know, we'll take it as the semi-compliment that I think it was supposed to be. I'm kidding. Kidding. I'm just secretly judging. I'm kidding. Okay, so far that's 2. But they're 2 on the same thing. So, is better than all the beards in the Bible. Whoa. The color you're wearing complements your skin. Yo! I'll take that. That was nice. Oh my word. Hello, Neon Noodles. And stuff like that. Yeah, I never thought of it that way. Oh my word. Guys. Calm down. But it does work. Okay. So, two chippies. 2 chippies. Don't get me started on color theory. I mean, if you can get it where I actually dress better, A, my wife will approve, B, I will look less of a hobo, and C, we may get more viewership. Because, don't you know, eye candy. Clearly that's what I'm here for. Eye candy. Fashion stream. We do have sewing club here, so you know that's a thing. But you know that's the thing. I am in love. Funny. All right, first chip of the 5 out of 10 rating, and then we drop down to lower for the 2 10s or the 410 one that we have yet to open up. But so that was 1. We're good. We need to get 7 out of 10. If we're going to do a 7 out of 10, we are going to have to, like, put a limit to how many of those chips we could have. Because 5 out of 10, when they stack, they stack. Oh, and then 10 out of 10. Well, that's rude. I'll have to get time when I'm not working. I was going to be house sitting, but with the events going on, they're not going, and man, I am running on fumes. Oh, I need the break, and I am not getting it now, and I'm struggling. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That does suck. Yo, we feel for that. That's not fun. Here, we're gonna, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna throw it. We're throwing. Wow. You're getting 2 of these there, Dime, from not just Tom, but also. Yeah, I am too slow. Oh wow, 3 actually.
Eyes out, Guardian.
Yo, Dime, if you don't feel the love from this community right now, your bros here, then, well, we need to have a conversation. But
eyes out, Guardian.
oh, well, like legit, we care about it. We care about our crew, man. This is where I've appreciated how our online community and how we kind of worked on it and stuff like that. How we've learned to connect and be there for one another, and I think that's really cool. And I think, like, not that there aren't other communities where you can't feel that love or kind of get that vibe from peeps, but like, we want to be there. We want to make sure that peeps are getting love and respect like they should. And so, yeah, we're a family, and I'm very cool with that. I get to brag that I get to hang out with my family practically every day. And not just my family at home, but yeah. So, yeah, I think it's a really good community. In fact, today, kid you not, we were doing we were sending some stuff. Woo, that's spicy. That's a candle that's very hot right now. Kids, don't burn yourself. Candles are, in fact, hot. We were dropping off some mail and stuff like that. And the thing that was cool and funny... Yeah, the more you know. I found this mom, and she's like, "Oh, you were talking about gaming. Like, my kid's in the game, or my daughter's in the gaming." I'm like, "Oh." And so, like, we were able to get the QR code scanned. So if you notice somebody new into our community, if they think we're cool enough to hang out and stuff like that, it's their choice. Then that's how this connection was found, potentially. And so continue to encourage. Like, this is what I love about our community. So just 2 things that I'm going to share, and then we're going to get into the level up talk, which is actually not going to be a hardcore big talk, but it's still a talk nonetheless. Wow. Apparently my wife got a phone call from a company, and they just hung up on her after she said, oh, we don't have anything available. Oh, okay, bye. Done. Awkward moment. All right, so first thing that I want to encourage you guys, right? Hey, March break, that is happening next month. And next month is literally happening start of Sunday. What? I know, shocker. It's kind of mind-blowing. It's kind of crazy. So that means you guys gotta want to get in on this March break goodness. There's so much going on. There's so many. Wow, March break, March over Batgirl. Oh my goodness, Solomon. This guy. Anywho, so there's tons of things. We still connect online with our Discord community on Monday. That will likely be me gaming along with PLO. And yes, kind of like what you got to see this past Monday, except Mike might be distracted with littles running around. We'll see. Then we have awesome camp games over at Trenton Wesleyan. It's going to be a good time. We also have Nerf Night, shooting people at Calvary Community Church on the Wednesday night. The Thursday night, we have Tabletop Game Night. Oh my word. That is going to be so crazy. Tons of fun, stuff like that. And then, of course, we have Retro Game Night! That's going to be that month's Nerdy Cafe. We're going to have retro game vibes. We're going to be able to do lots of different cool things and connect. It's going to be video game age, old school fun vibes, connecting. You're going to want to hit it up. It's going to be good stuff. It's going to be fun. Going to be fantastico. I don't know why I had to pause for so long. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Are there any horse games for Tom? If Tom's gaming, then yes. Hey! I can stretch without getting hit! I love this. I like this. It's very nice. I like this. Okay. You guys on stream, you guys get this benefit. And everyone, you need to thank Solomon for it. Because it was a good message that he sent me. I have to share it. Solomon, you cool with me sharing it? I think you will, because really not all that hardcore privatized or anything like that. All right. This is what I got in my Discord message after the Tuesday debacle of me not being able to stretch because I'm afraid of getting wrecked by, like, practically my 2 spiritual sons. So, here you go. This is what I got. Belleville, Canada Senior Citizens Meeting. Yeah, that's right. And that is a bald Superman. My dad would be very okay with that. Stretching is a trap. It's just an excuse to tickle or rough house. Yeah. No stretching zone. Yeah, right? Except, okay, let's be honest. She's risking it. She's almost stretching. This is going to be a problem. Like, you see that face? That would be Wilson with more hair. So, like, you know, this is a thing, guys. Guys, be nice to old man Wilson, to your elders. I'm glad that Solomon sent it to you too. That's important, because this is a respect the elderly moment. Okay, so you know, don't make this happen. Don't be a Kathleen Stretcher. Don't be a Stacy Stretcher. Wilson can not be old. Well, I know. I was nice to old man Wilson last time I saw him. I helped him put some. You did actually, Dime, and for that you get bonus points of awesomeness. Yeah, you know what? You're amazing. And yes, old people wear cardigans. Cardigans are like that wonderful mix of a sweater and a not sweater. It's for when you're just cool, but you don't want to be too hot. So it's like, you know, hashtag Wilson supports cardigans. That's a thing. So, thank you, Solomon, for that. Thank you for blessing my peepholes, my eyes, with that kind of stuff like that. So I appreciate that. Hey, guys, you wonderful human beings / people. The other thing that I wanted to share is, I guess I can share it on here. There we go. I have to type things in real quick. There we go. Right, it remembers things. Hey guys, the internet remembers things sometimes. Here is where I'm going to be this weekend. That's right, starting tomorrow, February 27th to March 1st. Yours truly is going to be a keynote speaker. This is the first time I've ever been a keynote speaker at a conference. So this is, look, see? You type speakers. I'm right there. A little bit of a brag, I will say. It's a little bit of a brag. But this is a little story about who I am. This is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned, and we're going to stop because copyright. So this is just like a general information. I am preaching on, it's preaching. Keynote speaking is me getting to preach to a bunch of other peeps that are either following Jesus or learning about Jesus at this men's only. I get it. I'm being exclusionist, and I hope that your dad's excited for other people. I'm just telling you, like, I'm gonna be an okay dude either way. Like, this is, I like keynote speak. I like talking. If you couldn't tell, I like talking. But I love preaching, and so this is the part that I'm actually most excited about, is being able to do this, because they were like, oh, we need another keynote speaker, and I'm just like, I'm a glutton for punishment. Heck yes. Because originally, they wanted me for these things called, like, workshops. Ew. Workshops? Ew. Ew. I don't know. I'm just being ridiculous. But anywho, workshop leader. By the way, this dude, Andrew Phippen, if you came out to our RPG night, this was the dude that did intro level style D&D. And he is a wonderful human being / person. We've been chatting. He's actually my ride to this conference. So, thank you, Andrew, if you ever watch this stream and stuff like that. You're praying for the conference. Yes, pray that Wilson does not scare people away. That would be actually an appropriate prayer there, Dime. Yeah. But I do pray that it's a good time of rest. Last time I was there, man, I was more of a participant. The very guy who runs this, runs Backyard Christians Ministries, John McDonald. I went to church with the guy, and he gave me the opportunity to go to this conference, and it was pretty awesome. So, but anywho, this is me again. A little short bio. It's the same one. You don't look scary to me. You look very friendly and huggable. Aww! That's very nice of you. Yes, I am like Hagrid. I will admit, hugs are my thing. I do realize, though, there are some people that do too lingering a hug. I'm looking at you, Tom. But, you know, hugs are good. I'm kidding. Tom, I like, whoa, Tom. There are people on the stream, okay? Just, like, calm down. No, I'm just kidding. Bear hugs, normal hugs. Right, bear hugs are huge, man. Like, my favorite thing to do is when I see my mentor getting a decent hug from him, and he gives a good hug, too. There are a few people that I give bear hugs. My man from college, my broski from college, Braden, I give him a bear hug. Oh, he knows how to give a bear hug. The man full on ran, jumped, tackled, hugged me, and we hadn't seen each other in person for like years. It was just, is it really a hug if there isn't a lack of oxygen, right? If you do not potentially see the pearly gates, I don't think you got hugged well enough. That's all I'm going to say. But here, in my seminar, or my workshop, we're going to talk about understanding your gamer. So essentially, guys, I am teaching them the culture of video gaming as it is today. I'm going to be talking about some video game addictions. We're going to be talking about GameQuitters.com. which is a Canadian-based group that helps with people with video game addiction or like even slight addictions. We've used that actually together to be able to gauge, hey, do you spend a lot of time video gaming? Do you actually lose hours of sleep because of video gaming? Are you not doing work because of video gaming? And like there's like video resources that we're going to be plugging to. Not that I'm going to be like showing them and be like, see? Video game's evil. I'm teaching them how to do video gaming at appropriate levels, because let's be honest, video gaming can be a good stress reliever. But then the problem is if it becomes a replacement for your average life, then there's need for concern. And so we're going to be working on what does video gaming look like? How can we have decent video gaming, like healthy gaming practices built for community and growth? That's the key thing, community and growth. Growth of the individual, but then grounded community that's not just only online, potentially in person too, depending on their scenario and stuff like that. So we're going to be talking about that. So if you are going to the conference, you now you have an idea, but it wasn't like stuff that you couldn't figure out by reading on here and stuff like that. Now awkward pause and stuff like that. My dad is the reason why I'm a gamer. Well, see, now maybe I'll help with your dad's video gaming addiction. We'll help with that. Oh, coffee. Yo, I don't have coffee. I'm sorry. But I do have water. So I'm going to hydrate. Because coffee. I forgot to make some. Oh, he's not addicted. He's barely been playing lately. Yeah, okay. Well, it happens. Well, I literally just hydrated. So now I'm not allowed to hydrate anymore? That's a little disconcerting and rude. Noodles. I see you. But he and I have had a connection through video. That is the thing that I want me and my daughter to have. So, like, yeah. So I want to work on that. So that's cool. That gives me hope. And my daughter's actually pretty into gaming. My pink controller is now getting replaced by the yellow one that we had here in the office, because now we got the very fancy one that we got from Chumley's. And so now my daughter's like, so I get the pink controller now, right, Dad? And it's like, she's not wrong. Anywho, so yeah. So that's what's going on and stuff like that. So Wilson can't hydrate. Boy, golly, I sure hope no one redeems Pring. Why? Well, it's perfect. She's got her pink controller. More game time, right? Couch co-op games are the best for little kids. I agree, and I say go back to retro games. Teach the kids how to. This is why Tom should not be on the same stream as Solomon. I'm just saying. Alright, am I upping 1 to 3 now? Because I started with 2, and now I do 3? What's going to be the game plan here? Yes, okay. Add fuel to the fire. 1. So, in case you're wondering, if I'm non-communicado, that might be why. Because I'm communicadoing with other people. It's not a you thing, it's a me thing. So, we're working on it. Anywho. Dose. Alright. Today's talk. You may have seen the title, I'm going to start a fight. Yeah. It's been because of Tom. You can blame Tom for this one. For this talk today has been brought to you by Tom Fool Pie suggestions in what Wilson should be watching in his spare time. Huh? Yeah. Blame Tom. Do it. Blame him. Tell him what he did wrong. So, what? Yeah. What indeed? What show? Only the show that's on Netflix that you're like, Mike, you need to do this. You need to watch this anime. You need to do it. I'm going to show it to you. Is this anime? It is called Record of Ragnarok. And not Black Clover. Ouch. That hurt. Yeah. You love me, eh? Wow. Wow. It takes me watching an anime for him to love me. We see how it is. Okay. So. Record of Ragnarok. You may be like, what the flibbity giblet is this nonsense? It's because this anime is all about humanity fighting against gods for the sake of saving humanity from being destroyed by the gods. Okay? So we're going to go on the premise baseline. It's actually really good. I've been enjoying it. I'm still only in season 1, so forgive me. But I will only have limited amount of input on what's going on in season 1. Okay? So I haven't seen season 2 yet, or season 3, which apparently is like coming soon. So, you know, that's a thing. But it's, stop. Shh, stop? What? Okay. I'm looking forward to it either way. Oh, I can't drink water. Oh, you. Oh, that's a slow burn. How dare you? Okay. Oh, thank you. And in fact, it's been redeemed twice. Thank you, Thomas, for that. Oh my goodness. All right. So, the whole premise is that these gods are planning to destroy humanity. They are kind of getting tired and bored of humanity. They're just kind of like doing their thing and stuff like that. And it's all put to the vote. It's all unanimous. Gods just want to destroy humanity. It sucks. It's brutal. However, Pringles over humanity. Essentially, that's what the gods said. But then there's this woman, this Valkyrie, and yes, it's like mythology and all this stuff mixed with then history. The Valkyrie puts out, hold up. There is a clause that if the gods want to destroy humanity, humanity needs to have an opportunity to, like, essentially defend itself. And so the point is going to be, we are going to bring up, I don't know what I'm doing. I just feel like this keeps on rubbing in weird ways. I'm getting wrecked. Oh my word. I have no idea what I'm doing. There we go. Valkyrie brings up that there's this thing called Ragnarok, where then there's this battle between 12 champions, 12 gods, and 12 mortals, and the first one to have the most amount of wins is the winning side. Makes sense, right? Round robin kind of fight vibe, stuff like that. And if the gods win, the gods get to just destroy humanity. That's it. Sucks. But then if humanity wins, humanity gets to exist, and the gods have to Ninu deal with it, kind of stuff like that. So the gods kind of laugh at that. They're like, we're not even going to do it. It's just like, yeah, DCKO. It's actually like that, Neon Noodles. It really is like that. It's just an anime format. And they're like, yeah, like, that's just a waste of time. We just like, it's like, whatever. So then the Valkyrie leans in and is like, oh, well, like, maybe the reason why you guys won't think about doing this Ragnarok competition is because you're afraid that humanity would actually own you and embarrass you. Maybe you're actually afraid of humanity. Huh. Weird. Yeah, okay, then, and by all means, if you are scared of humanity, yeah, feel free to destroy them. Just, take care of the threat before it's really a thing. Yep, because you're afraid of them. So you're taking care of a threat. That makes sense, and stuff like that. And, of course, all the gods are like, excuse me, pardon me, what? Say that to my face, you Valkyrie. Get, all up and aggressive and stuff like that. So then they're like, fine, we will do this Ragnarok competition, this tournament, and we will wreck humanity in the slow burn kind of way. And that's just how it's going to be. And so, yeah, let's do it. So, of course, Valkyrie kind of laughs to herself. Because that was her plan all along, was for them to do it. I mean, humanity did invent pineapple on pizza. Truly horrifying. Hey. That's fine. It's not even that. To me, the worst thing is when we decide fish eggs is tasty. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, pineapple makes sense. Fish eggs... I don't get it. Anywho, so then Valkyrie's job is to find heroes amongst, like, all humanity to face off against gods. And so, like, the first season... I'm going to just reveal who are the fights of the first season, and that's really it, because I'm going to leave it after that. But the fights are quite different. So, we have Thor. Here, we'll do that one. Maybe. Sort of. Yeah. We have Thor versus Lu Bu. Lu Bu was like a Chinese warlord. The dude was nuts, and pretty powerful and pretty crazy. Then we had Zeus versus Adam. How much of I literally at this fight, the one between Poseidon and I forget what his name is. Don't pursue Lu Bu. Yeah, right? Like, don't mess with Lu Bu. Don't do it. Yeah, I'm at the last fight, the Poseidon and I forget who this dude is. Who is this dude? Anyone who's watching the series, I know he's supposed to be like the most counterintuitive choice to what you would expect for Poseidon, but like, you know, yeah. Anywho, the thing that actually started this episode, Lu Bu is from Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Best book ever. I have not read it, so I guess I gotta read that. The most unlucky fighter in the world. Oh, right, that's right. The most unlucky... That's right. So, the thing that started this episode, legitimately, was Zeus and Adam. And the reason why I'm saying Zeus and Adam... Ragnarok... Zeus versus Adam. This fight was absolutely bonkers. Not just because it's, like, basically a naked dude with a leaf, and then, you know, father of the Greek gods, and all that kind of stuff. Wait, hold on. Is this, like, an actual manga that you can read? Yo, where do I read this? Oh, do you like this anime because a certain deity is in it, Tom? Wars. Ha, ha, ha. Of course, he likes it. He likes Poseidon. That's the whole reason. Though I will say Aphrodite, oh my goodness, that was too much. I watched this with my wife, right? And I had like watched the first episode by myself, and Aphrodite is... She's a little bit more robust than I would be typically used to for an anime. And it's... when you're watching an anime with your wife, and occasionally it goes to the robust goddess of love and stuff like that, one, it's an uncomfortable moment, because you're literally just watching it for the Greek mythology, well, sorry, not Greek mythology, the mythology and, like, human legends and history all mixed into one. That's my recipe for enjoyment. But in this case, and the awkward part is, like, they're moving statues that are definitely not helping in this situation at all. So, I mean, to be fair, considering the type of goddess she is, right, no, and you're not wrong, Solomon, but it's very uncomfortable when your wife is watching it and the occasional, like, bounce happens, and you're just like, oh my word, this is for fanboys who just, like, have no life. So I had to clarify that this is not why I'm watching it. The reason I'm watching it is this. And then Coach is like, no, I get it. I 100% get it. I like the history part of it, and I know you like the mythology part of it. Like, I get it. So, guys, Coach is good with it. That's all I'm saying. Just as good. But, like, gents, don't watch this by yourself. Okay, watch this watch this with a group of people because you want to watch it, not because you want to check out certain anime characters. Don't do that. That's just no good. I'm watching it for the plot, Mom. Right? The one time. She is why I would hate the show if it was not good. Right! And like, this is why I just don't appreciate that part of it. Otherwise, fantastic. I've been loving season 1. So, back to why the Zeus... Yeah, it would be better if I knew how to write. How the Zeus and Adam fight got me. So, the whole premise that they make the story of, like, these humans that are willing to fight the gods is either due to a key moment or a key characteristic about them, or they have certain abilities. So these humans have different capacities for what they can do and stuff like that. I'm not going to spoil what their capacity is or what the capacity was with Adam versus Zeus. If you are really wanting to watch it, you should check it out. Zeus kind of looks like the guy from Hunter x Hunter. Actually, it makes me think of the old man in... his speech was too good. Right? It was really good. It was a good moment. This is why you guys need to, like, check it out sometime, if you can. If you're old enough to watch, old enough to check it out, stuff like that. Anywho. Zeus reminds me of the guy from Dragon Ball, the pervy old dude. That's what he reminds me of. But Adam's whole reason why he's willing to fight, and, like, you're then like, well, how does a human fight against a god? Well, humans have their own special capabilities, but then they also usually have their own... Yeah, Roshi over Batgirl. Wow. These characters typically have, like, a special ability, and they'd have a weapon that they use. So for Adam, his weapon was, like, brass knuckles. And the way he had brass knuckles was a Valkyrie changes into, like, a hero's key weapon that he's able to pour special capabilities through and all that kind of stuff like that. So they are helping with, like, the intense fight that can actually do damage to these gods and stuff like that. So that's really kind of like how the thing goes and stuff like that. The designs are so good in this. Yeah, it's, like, really cool. I like it. And, like, their powers are really interesting, how they work or counteract to the other god that they're fighting and stuff like that. And I'm not going to spoil any of that, but this was the reason why, again, the reason why Adam and Zeus fight was probably my favorite, was because of why Adam was fighting. The reason why Adam goes into the fight is because, like, essentially the serpent was, like, this other god that was trying to force himself on Eve. Not cool, by the way. Not cool at all. And then Eve tried to make a plea against it. It was almost like the courts of the gods were going to, like, decide whether she's going to stay in paradise or stuff like that. And that, like, the snake started lying to her and stuff like that. And Adam is just like, you know what? We're going to deal with this. And he, like, picked all the apples off of the forbidden tree and, like, made a big fight just for his wife. And in the midst of the fight, the reason why he fights is to protect his family. But he doesn't look at it as just his kids, right? Yeah, is there any man that needs a reason to protect his own children? Right. 100%, Tom. 100%. That was, like, the speech that just threw down so good. His whole reason for fighting was to defend his family. It takes a whole other vantage point on how it went biblically. I'm not agreeing with that kind of mindset. But I do love the factor that Adam simply is fighting the gods for the sake of, like, he feels like it's not seen or understood. That is what he says going into the fight. Right. And I love it for that. Hello, Rabbi. Welcome. You are coming in at the most interesting, chat we've had in a while. So what I find interesting, what was that, Tom? Tom hops in and then hops out of voice chat. I'm so nervous.
I love you.
Okay. appreciate that. I'm here to make sure you don't become a heretical Jew. That's fair. This talk might make me one. I'm kidding. It probably won't. What I just like about this is that it's humanity wrestling with divine beings, okay? And we've talked about this moment time and time again, okay? Like, of Jacob wrestling with the angel and like, how that changed his life, and then his name becomes kind of like the identifier for his people and wrestling with God, having to go back and forth at different points and stuff like that. And to me, this is just kind of cool, because it adds a different flair of, like, how do we contend against God? What is our approach to it? Because the previous fight, the Lu Bu versus Thor, Lu Bu just likes fighting. And he just wants to test his worth against an opponent to be like, I have this one move that I know would devastate humanity, but I want to see what it would be like to fight a worthy opponent that could handle it and stuff like that. Oh, wow. Tom has to spoil it. Oh, my goodness. So, Adam's primary power in Record of Ragnarok is Eyes of the Lord, Divine Reflection, which allows him to instantly analyze, perfectly replicate, and counter any divine technique or move he sees, regardless of speed or power. As a man created in the image of God, he can mirror divine abilities. Yeah, it's interesting, because it's that idea that we are created in the image of God, right? As it says. And so then, therefore, we can reflect that greatness outward and stuff like that. It's an interesting take on the idea of what Adam does or what humanity is about. Lu Bu just likes fighting. Understatement of the... Yeah, like, actually, Lu Bu is just nuts about fighting. Like, it's kind of disgusting. Rabbi, it's interesting that after he wrestles with the angel, he says, "You will be named Israel." But it doesn't happen there. He isn't called Israel until later, when he does something major first, which actually encapsulates the name Israel. Oh, man! Yes! Rabbi! Throw it down. Some names are given, some are earned, right? And that's kind of the cool thing, right? That he was bestowed that name, but then it is held concrete later on when he's working on, I believe, is it not when he starts naming his sons that encapsulates it and stuff like that? I'm gonna have to double check my rereading of Genesis. Got to go back to the Torah, peeps. Go back to the Torah. Yeah. Bro, this anime has been out for a while, so season 1 is free. Yeah. Season 1 is really good. I'd recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And we have missed you, Rabbi. But I love this concept. I love the idea of humanity wrestling with God. And I'm sure there's a bunch of people that are looking at me and like, Mike, isn't that heretical, though? Like, you wrestling with God, you fighting with God, you kind of like dishing out your anger and frustration. It's like, I'm going to be very candid right now. I think that is the most backwards idea ever. To think that you can't just like share with God legitimately where you're at, be able to pour it out. I think you can still be respectful in how you're doing it. I still think there is a level of like, you can understand that divine being versus created being. Divine being definitely supersedes. Like that's just, to me, logic. But especially when the divine being created humanity, therefore we should really thank that and stuff like that, is after he gives back what he stole from Esau. Okay, right, that's fair. My bad. Thank you, Rabbi. He was Jacob when he was the supplanter. Yep, the guy who goes around things and causes problems and has to figure it out on his own. Yeah, does it for himself. And then becomes Israel, struggle which is tackling something head on. Yes, and becoming a man of truth, and gives Esau all blessings he stole. Right. Living differently than how he had before. And the very, like, Rabbi, you can tell me if I'm wrong on this and stuff like that. But I think the connection with the name and then the hip popping or displacement or stuff like that, and him leaning on the staff is like almost like him reminding that he's got to lean on God, that he's got to trust on him. It's not on his own just strength or merit, stuff like that. He's gotta lean on God some more rather than himself. Wrestling with God is encouraged. Wrestling is a sport that's hugely respectful when off the court, and you get to know your opponent in the ring, right? And that's been my contention. We brought it up last week on the whole idea of like the name, right? And like when you're given a name, like it's working through that. Like what kind of name do you want to be known by? When God gives you a name, or he gives you a call, or he's giving you something that you need to do, there is going to be sometimes wrestling or contention or working through that. And what does that mean? And we got to sometimes wrestle with our own inner will, decision, and stuff like that. And like, how do we submit that to God? How are we willing to follow his lead off of it? How do we still honor him in the midst of that? Like there's a whole lot of things. And in wrestling, there's a lot of seeing how you are going to give and take, and you are very close with the person. One of my favorite stories, I think I've shared this tons of times, was with my fellow leader. His camp name was Dior, and Dior was actually into several different martial arts. He actually has like a black belt in a few different things, and was like even a martial arts instructor. And like he was running a wrestling / martial arts camp at the camp that we were at, and he's like, "Oh, Marvel, come on over." That was my camp name, Marvel. Come on over, and I want to see what you're like for wrestling. And I'm always like I don't want to get into it because I don't want to sweat a whole lot, and that's kind of gross and disgusting and stuff like that. This must be a long stream. I arrived and you weren't wrapping things up yet. I mean, it's like 46 minutes. So, like, not long. We're kind of in the middle of it. We're good. But when he told me to come on over and to wrestle and stuff like that, I'm like, well, I don't know how this is going to go. He's like, well, no, like, let's just wrestle. Let's do this, and let's give and take. And so, in the wrestling, what I found was really cool was, like, he knew I was into jiu-jitsu off of like some of my movement, and so he's reading me, and like we're up close. And there was a time where I'm reading him and seeing what are the movements that he's going for and stuff like that. And so eventually I just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for stuff, and we're gonna see. And so he saw it and he felt it, and he's like, oh, you're gonna do now if you want to do, okay, there we go. And like he was evaluating my wrestling as I was doing it, and like how I'd hold and how I would try and overpower, or if I did overpower, he goes, oh, okay, that's good. But if you go like, yep, see, now you got me, or now, whoop, see how I got you. And like, it was the weirdest fight I had ever been in, because it was with someone who was definitely past me in capacity, but he still wanted me to show up and to go for it and to do things. And like, it was, the feedback was really cool. And having it was like we were having a conversation while we were wrestling, and while I was barely breathing because he made me work for it. And so, you know, I like it for that baseline. That I think the wrestling analogy is really good on that. And God says he's going to destroy a people. Abraham says, wait, don't. What if I can find 50, 40, 30, 20, 10? Moses, I'd rather you kill me. Don't do it. Noah, oh, okay. I'll build a boat. Maybe don't be Noah. Right. No, but like, so like right there, Rabbi just pointed out two people that contended with God on some stuff, right? Like Abraham wanted to contend for the sake of so many people. Would you save a city? Would you stop a city from being destroyed? Or with Moses, you know what? You say, God, that you want to just wipe out everybody and you'll start over with me. How about, no. You can just wreck me. All right? I'll be the sacrifice on this case. Just don't destroy these people. Like, we're not going to do it. And like him calling God, we are not going to move without you. We need your presence. We need you guiding us throughout the desert. Help me. This is why Noah wasn't given the covenant. Right. This is why the covenant was given to Abraham and his descendants. They had different mentality. Noah was just like, yes, sir. Just like, okay. To struggle with God is to be Israel. Noah was not Israel. Right. Jamie from Game of Thrones. Only for saving people. Don't watch it. Yeah, don't watch Game of... Don't. Not worth it. That's all I'm going to say. No. Yeah. You want awkward situations. Though that's really awkward to watch with your wife. Yep. Don't do it. But Game of Thrones is so it's about a family for sure. Not in the way you want to at all. Right, Tom. No, I get it. But still. No, I love the wrestling aspect. And, like, going back to it here, where we are having humanity wrestle and stuff like that. And, Rabbi, I love how you just jumped in. Like, I didn't even have to start quoting, and you're just like, Rabbi knew where I was going to go with this. This is, my man. You get it. Oh, I love it. But, like, legitimately, with Moses, like, this willingness to be able to push back an idea, or push back on God and be like, well, God, I don't like that. Or, God, I don't know, and stuff like that. Like, do you realize that there was back and forth with God to a point where God's like, you know what, fine. We're gonna have Aaron show up, and he's gonna talk to Pharaoh. He's going to be like you, the you version of you, where he's going to talk to Pharaoh, and then he's going to talk to you, and then you're going to talk to me, and we're just going to play telephone this way. Because as you are a representative of your people, like, he's going to be a representative of people to the people, and you are going to be like me to him. If that made any sense at all. I feel like I should have, like, a whiteboard. Guys, fund a whiteboard. Or fund a tech board that we could just, like, have and be like, hello, look at this point here and here. When the house is cold, you can do two things. Wear a coat, which keeps you warm, 100%. Or you can turn on a heater and warm everyone together. But it might take longer. Noah put on a coat. A 500-foot coat made of tar and gopher wood. Yeah, that's fair. Yes, so donate for an electronic board that we just have all of a sudden show up. And then I can do my teaching moments like that. I'm kidding. We don't actually have to do that, but appreciate the idea of supporting. So the contention that I want to throw down, okay? Because, like, you can watch this Record of Ragnarok, which I do recommend. It's really cool, and it's really fun and stuff like that. And whiteboards are necessary. Thank you, Rabbi. I appreciate that. I love it when we do our Discord Thursday night Bible study, and I get to use a whiteboard and have a conversation on, like, some ideas and growing and developing on it. Like, just visually. I like drawing. I get bored. I need visuals. Anywho, that's just where it is. If you don't have a whiteboard, you might be a son of a... Wow. I mean, is it really a Bible study if there's no whiteboard? Is it a Bible study if there's no flannelgraph? Is really the question there, Solomon. Bring back flannelgraph. Let's put Velcro... Let's put the felt characters back up. Wilson, I can't wait for the White Death to come to the anime, which is a sniper who became history's deadliest sniper during the 1939-1940 Winter War against the Soviet... Whoa. I don't know if that's biblical, but it should be. I agree. I think so. I think so, there, Rabbi. I get it. So, here's the thing that I want to bring this up. Because, like, there's different people that contend with God and working through, like, what's going on with them, right? Like, look at Job, right? Job was willing to sit in his pain, which totally makes sense, right? Like, he's able to be frustrated and what's going on and what's wrong, because, like, he loses his wealth, he loses almost all of his family, and he loses his health for the most part. Like, I'd be pretty ticked off too. But, like, throughout most of it, he's, like, just, like, sitting on it, is, like, realizing, you know, God can decide if I have things or not. Like, am I supposed to only be okay when God's cool with me getting good stuff or stuff like that? Like, you know, what do we do? You contend with it. But then over time, he does get frustrated. He does freak out because, like, his friends are calling him out and be like, you probably sinned this, or your kids probably sinned and did this, or you, like... They are looking at it through retribution focus, right? Like, their problem here, clearly you did something there, right? Like, it's just understanding that kind of mindset. And Job's freaking out. Is like, I did nothing. I am perfect. And then he gets called out by the fourth dude who was hanging out the whole time, younger. He's like, yo, you ain't perfect. So, like, rework that. God's the only one that's perfect. So, like... Let's work on the humility thing. Like, and then what happens after Job kind of pushes back? Then God shows up and goes, "Yo, step up to the plate. Let's do this. Let's contend with this logically." And so, like, that's the cool part, is that when you start wrestling with God, God kind of shows up for some of it. And that's where I love the Jacob focus on the name change. I love when Moses contends with God. Like, Moses got to see the back end of God. And he was a dude who was willing to contend and just go, yeah, God, I'm not cool with, like, just going out in the desert with us. Like, no. And, like, I'm not, no. You destroying the whole crew? No, like, I'm not cool. Like, he's willing to do that. God's willing to work with that, to hear what your thoughts are, hear where you're contending against it. And he doesn't just outright slap your hand or yell at you and be like, boy, I will smack you silly. He's not like this Ragnarok where it's just like, boy, I will own you. Like, he wants to be close to you. He wants that closeness, that contention. And the very simple factor of why I bring up the record of Ragnarok as an anime to, like, have this reminder in your head. Maybe you need to step into the ring with God. Maybe you need to share with God where either things seem not right, and you want to see something different. And you want to at least contend the idea. Is this right? Is this wrong? Am I messed up for thinking that? Now, I will say this in following up with that. If you are willing to wrestle with God, be prepared to feel pushback, not in a way that's condemnation, but in a way that's redirection and guidance. And maybe call out if, you just keep on saying no to the same thing. I look at Jonah as an interesting example on that way. Because legitimately, Jonah gets the call to go to Nineveh, right? And to give Nineveh this warning that if they don't change the way that they're going about things, thank you, Solomon, it's nice to not get hit in the stretch zone. How Noah's whole thing was, his contention was he didn't want to go to Nineveh because he thought Nineveh already needed destruction. Like, the very contention that God's telling him go to Nineveh and, like, tell them they need to straighten up, they need to repent, to change their ways because their wickedness is so brutal and all this kind of stuff. And here Noah's just like, no, God, you had it right at the start. Just wreck them. Just do it. Don't give them a second shot. Just let it go. And clearly God gave him a message that's, no, we're going to tell him. So then he pieces out. He's like, I'm going to try and make this decision my way. Okay? I'm going to just simply not give him an option. Well, he tries to go to Tarshish, which is actually modern-day Spain. Tries to go to Tarshish. And yet, Storm hits, heavy stuff. They cast loss to figure out what's the cause. They find out it's Jonah. Shocker. Dude trying to run from God. God's gonna track you down. So then Jonah's like, you know what? Throw me into the water. And the storm will stop. I'm sure in his head he's like, throw me in the water, I'll drown. And then, haha, Ninu. What are you gonna do? Then giant fish comes and totally takes Jonah 3 days in this giant fish, gets thrown up on the shore, gross, and he listens, okay, fine, I'll go to Nineveh. Goes to Nineveh. Here's the thing, guys. When Jonah goes to Nineveh, okay, doesn't give a ginormous speech. It is like the shortest call to repentance. And it's not like he gathered all the officials or stuff like that. Why did Jonah not want to go to Nineveh? What was he afraid of? I think Jonah, off of what I'm seeing and presuming, so Rabbi, you can call me hard heretic if this is the case. The way that I see it is that Nineveh was like definitely a nation that was known for their cruelty, for their malice. That they were not even believing in the same God, one, but like how they treated the Jews, like, because they were again part of the Assyrian, I believe it was part of the Assyrian nation, and were just like not cool to Jews. So of course there's like a little bit of retribution, there's a little bit of angst and stuff like that. Yeah, Nineveh was the capital of Assyria, that's right, which was currently attacking Israel, right? So it's like, no, God, let the destruction happen. Like, it's almost like God's giving them a pass to be like, if they repent, things are going to be cool and stuff like that. So would Jonah least favorite country be Wales? I don't know. Yeah. Anywho, so then Jonah goes for the day, literally a day, and just says like a short thing, hey, smarten up or God's going to like destroy you. So stop doing dumb things. Mic drop. Psh, steps out. And the simple message that didn't make any sense and was like totally random. All of a sudden we have a whole city. Like from the lowliest. It even talks about how even the cows are repentant. Which is like, that doesn't even make sense. How can cows be repentive and stuff like that? It's like the very idea like everyone's so moved and feeling guilty and moved with sorrow that they've done something wrong, that they actually wear like sackcloth and ashes, like a visual sign of like they are so sorry on like how they were going about things, and they desperately are asking God to like save them from destruction. And here's Jonah, all his mindset is like, sweet, they are gonna get wrecked. I am close to this action. I'm just outside the spray zone, but I'm getting enough that I'm going to feel the heat. So, like, we're good. We're good. And he's still waiting, and God creates, like, this tree, or, like, this, like, weird kind of plant that gives him shade in the sun. And so, like, of course, Jonah's like, oh, sweet. Like, now we got shade and ready to wreck people and stuff like that. And then overnight, he like pieces out, and there's this worm that destroys this plant. And Jonah freaks out. He's like, dude, what the actual heck? Why is this a thing? Why is it that like the one good thing gets destroyed, and yet the bad thing right there is like not getting destroyed? What the flip? And God kind of like comes in and goes, hey, Jonah, buddy. Yeah, I got a problem with your like hyper focus on this plant. See, like, you know, like you were given this plant, you didn't have to work for it, you didn't have to like do anything special for it. And then when it dies, you like freak out. You're like hard freaking out. But yet when I choose not to destroy people of like tens of thousands, in fact, 100,000s of people in a night, you want them wrecked. You have no compassion for them. Like, You catching that? What are you like? He was so angry. He was like, I'm angry enough to die. Like, just life sucks. God wreck me. This plant died. Nineveh isn't destroyed. I'm just done. I'm dead. Control Alt Delete. God, I'm ready for it. Like, let's just do it and stuff like that. And like, it's like, what the heck? Like, what the heck? It's just nuts. But this is the contention, right? Like, this is where Jonah is kind of like as the reverse prophet, right? The guy who is not eager to just go out and do words and stuff like that. Never mind the canceled. How dare they, Rabbi? Do they not know that you were watching our stream? Do they not care that you were here committing time? And they just... Rude. It's possible that Jonah was afraid of replacement of Jews. Prophets had been preaching repentance to Israel, and they all ignored them. Now Assyrians are taking over the land, and he's told Assyrians will repent and be people for God. Touché. That's actually a fair point. Didn't think of it that way. Thank you, Rabbi. That's a good vantage point. Sounds a lot like Israel when they first came into the land of Canaanites. Their sins were too great, so they needed to be wiped. Right? It's just a little intense. But like, this is the thing. God doesn't bash the factor of like being able to bring up thoughts. Like, the thing that God's calling out Jonah is his attitude on all of this, and like what the root behind that attitude was, right? It's just like, are you not excited that like a whole nation came to me and like changed their ways? Like, don't you see the compassion that I've given them, the mercy that I've shown on them? Like, it's a thought to ponder, right? It's a thing to work out on that case. And so in that case line, like, again, God does not bash Jonah for being able to wrestle. Like, all throughout the process, God's just redirecting Jonah, just like you do in like a wrestling match. You can redirect your opponent's case to like push against you and go, no. You're gonna do the thing. You're gonna do the thing. Oh, I noticed that. That's cool. We're still gonna do the thing though. And like, this is why I think stuff like featuring these movies of like Record of Ragnarok, or even what was the other Netflix movie? It was by Zack Snyder. It was an animated movie, also wonderfully inappropriate for younger viewers, just to let you know. There are fast forward scenes, I'm going to tell you that. But it's also basically about, the Norse one that I'm talking about, Solomon. Shoot. It's like Ragnarok 2, but it's like done through this one person movie. I didn't know the anime became a movie. No, this didn't become a movie. It was an anime series. Shoot. Twilight of the Gods. Thank you, Solomon. This is why Solomon... You know what? Solomon, you're the Jamie to the Wilson show. Like, to the Mike Wilson show. Jamie, can you pull that up? Can we pull that up, Jamie? And just, and stuff like... Yeah, we've got our research department. We know that. No, you said Record of Ragnarok was a movie. No, sorry. Record of Ragnarok is the show. But Twilight of the Gods is another show that really kind of depicts that there's this contention that's going on. And now that's actually about the downfall of Norse mythology and then is overtaken by Christianity, which actually Zack Snyder hardcore focuses at the end in Odin's vision. Is so cool. I love it. I was like, oh my word. Like, historically accurate and interesting how he brought it into the mythology. I thought that was so cool. Anywho, so the thing that I want to just sit with you and I want to encourage you in all of this, and oh my gourd, I love it. Then God took away the shade plant from Jonah, right? Punk. Good lesson for all prophets, being an umbrella on your mission, right? Yeah, that's fair. Like, it's just interesting. And again, we get so focused on us, we get so focused on our concerns. And I get it. We don't have the vantage point that God does, right? And we can try and work through and process every single detail and try and get ahead of it. But then there's other things that can be layered into how does God interact with the world? What is his grand plan for the world? How does he invest in humanity? How does he challenge us to grow? How does he walk alongside us in that journey of growth? But the factor is sometimes we as people, we put our heels down and go, all right, God, I don't like this. And you know what God says? Cool, let's wrestle this out. Let's do it. He does not shy away from it. Simply put. So if anything, guys, I'm telling you, wrestle with God. Like, actually take the opportunity. Wrestle with God. Throw down your confusion, frustrations, things, stuff like that. Wrestling over curling. I mean, if you want to hurl stones, you can. Like, you can hurl rocks. I don't mind that, being a Canadian, as it were, and stuff like that. Cool, you want your way? How about a big fish, right? Sometimes he does send big fishes. Sometimes he actually steps away so that you can wrestle with the idea of what it is to be independent from him. To let you feel the, like, oh yeah, that doesn't work out, right? And it's the willingness to contend, and I love that in the analogy of that. I love that in an analogy as like a parent, because like there's some wrestling. Mark's been learning to get into like fights, not in like a dangerous fight or stuff like that. Hockey 3v3. Okay, we are not talking about the gold medal game. But my son's been learning how to fight. And some of the things that I'm teaching him is like little things that he can do in the midst of the fight to make sure he's going to be okay. One of them being like, make sure you're covering like your throat so that you don't get choked out. So like it's learning how to protect yourself from coming in hits, and how to keep it that if you feel an arm coming close to you, just like back up. Open net? Nah, you miss all those, right? Yeah, you don't. Yeah. But in the midst of it, I'm teaching my son to observe things, but I'm also learning how does he respond to things. And is he willing to be pliable to it? Is he willing to try that out? Because I grew up in a wrestling family, and that's just how we do it. Best way not to get choked out. Wear a full steel-plated armor. 100%. Just don't walk up to somebody with the war pick. That's all I'm going to say. Or a war hammer. Because war hammers are designed to go, oh, you're comfy in your armor suit? Let's make it tight. And really uncomfortable. And, oh yeah, weaken it so then I can own you. Aim for the family jewels always. Oh my goodness. Solomon. Why? And I get the reference is from The Simpsons. Aim for the family jewels, son. It's just, yeah. No, I get it. But, yeah. So what I'm trying to say, what your level up challenge is, wrestle with God. Go out there. Write it out. Shout it on the countryside. Like, get into that mode when you are getting frustrated or you just don't know. And trust me, I'm in wrestling mode with God. Not in like, God, I'm angry with you. It's like, God, I don't get where you're going with this. Like, I have a plan on how I think it should go. And right now, that's not going the way that I see it should go. And so, God, what is this? We're contending, we're wrestling, we're going through, and all this kind of stuff like that. It's just kind of nuts. So, yeah, pray with us in the wrestling. Because wrestling is good. All right, this is the part where we get to throw down into the VCs. Speaking of, are we going to wrestle with God in VC layer today? I think we all join in and do a short 3 to 4 hour Oh, my word. I'm telling you, Rabbi, this is the one Thursday / weekend / period that just is rough. I I don't think my doctor would recommend me wrestling with an omnipotent deity at the moment. What? Come on. What kind of doctor do you got if he doesn't let you wrestle? Come on. God wants to wrestle. He's good with it. Your doctor sounds like Satan. Oh! Ooh. I say we wrestle in for honor and kick butt for God. I like it. I miss playing for honor. That's such a good game. I mean, they are English. I can't help on that one. Bean demons. All right. Comments, prayers. Prayer requests. Hit it up over here into the chat columns. Any prayer requests that you got going on. Continue to pray for our family through this vehicle situation. What was supposed to be a safety check on Monday got rescheduled because apparently the spot that the safety check was going to be done, the shop is moving. And so we are waiting for this rescheduling, but there's another thing that we're also waiting for. Wilson, download it tonight and we play For Honor. I've got For Honor. I think it's already downloaded, so I just need to see if there's an update. We kick butt for God. That would be cool. Yeah, maybe, yeah. So this is where it's kind of frustrating on that end. Solomon, prayers for my mom would be great. Thanks. Her care charges about $900 per week. Wow. Oh, Solomon, I am sorry to hear that. Holy snap. Oh, that is heavy. Solomon, yeah, we'll be praying for that. She doesn't even make $900 a month, let alone... Yeah, I was just gonna say. Oh my goodness. Solomon, how... Oh my goodness. Solomon, you gonna be okay? You guys gonna be okay? Those are not fun numbers. Thankfully, the council are nice enough to take $100 off your bill. By golly. So, hold on. So, you talked about how there's the socials are gonna be, are the socials able to mitigate it to even half? That sounds horrible that I'm, trying to even go on, on that, but, yeah, that's, yeah, $800 per week is a little, wow. I don't even make that much per week. I couldn't imagine how you're, wow. Good grief. Solomon, I'm so sorry to hear that. Guys, yeah. No, we'll be praying. They're going to try to get her better support. She loves the place. She's in the choir, has, oh. I have to take a shot every week so I can eat solid foods. It costs holy. For 1 month supply, if I skip too many, then I have to go back to eating food through a straw. It costs them $10 to that is nuts. Yeah, medical industry does bite that way. That's, yeah. Specifically medication or in-term cares. That's, oh my goodness. Well, we're going to pray for you, Solomon. We're going to pray over that situation. Oh my goodness. Dang. Okay, Tom, we'll pray for you for work and all that goodness. Because he needs a stable job. Yes, that was intentional. Yeah, there it is, Solomon. And yeah, I already shared my prayer and stuff like that. Yeah, need to pay Ella. Yes, you do. Because Ella will come for you. but yeah, just continue to pray for our vehicle stuff. Yeah, don't mind about the you know what? Yeah, I have peanuts compared to that situation. Wow. Yeah, be praying. But yeah, I feel you, man. If there is anything I can do to help, let me know. I don't have a spare 900, but if there's anything else, yeah, Rabbi, like, yeah, man, I'm right there. Is it just, yeah? That's a good question. All right, I'm gonna pray for these situations. Rabbi, is there anything you want prayer for? Just shortly. Cheapers. Man, I can chew the system. I like that. Rabbi. Cool. All right, I'm gonna pray because now we are an hour and 20 overtime. 20 overtime. Okay. Hey God, I just want to thank you for today. Thank you for animes like Record of Ragnarok that are just like so in your face about wrestling with God, that God, maybe it's a reminder that yeah, we need to wrestle with you, and it's actually good to wrestle with you, that you encourage that you want us to be close enough to wrestle with you, to work things out, to process and to see growth in us through that. There is growing that happens in the wrestling. God, I just pray right now for Solomon. Thank you for his heart that he keeps on coming on out here. Thank you for this new diagnosis and trying out something new for his body. Pray that you would be with him throughout all that and give him patience and bring him healing to his body. God, we pray right now for his situation with his mom and for the care that she's in. It's kind of nuts how expensive care is. And it's awesome that she's got this care, she's got this community that she's involved with, and God, I pray that the socials that are there to help with the situation would figure out something that can help mitigate a good portion, for sure, of these expenses for Solomon's mom, for the care that she needs, and figuring things out. I pray for wisdom for Solomon. It sounds funny that I'm asking for wisdom for Solomon, but wisdom for Solomon in this process of like how to go about things, where is some funding that they can get, how we can have things taken care, and just I pray that you would meet this need and take care of it. God, I pray for Tom and continuing to search for a job. I pray that he would be able to find one, that he can pay off Ella real quick, and then just be able to have work that he can enjoy, that he can be able to invest in, so that he can invest in other things too. God, I pray that you would just be with my car's situation, stuff like that. Thank you that I've been able to have my in-laws' car to be able to borrow for this week, to be able to have available for what I need to do for work. But God, I do pray that you'd be answering the prayer of like, what are we doing for another vehicle if we were doing that, and the wisdom for what's going on with our current vehicle. Because we are just kind of sitting, waiting in limbo, and that's the hard, frustrating end of all of it. God don't know what we're waiting. And a beautiful analogy that Ricky answered down is like, it's like Gandalf in the Mines of Moria, and stuck at the three-way passages, and just sitting there, not knowing where to go for sure, not having the memory to go, but then eventually the memory comes at noticing the air is less foul, as he said, in this area. That God, when you reveal what's the best decision, that it wouldn't feel foul. You'd be like, no, this seems about right. To wait for you and for your guidance on that. And so maybe you just put this at a stop, that I have to learn, you just need to rely on me. God, I just pray that you'd be with us as we go out from here to do different things and wherever we're going, and be with Rabbi and continue to bless him in his work. Just be with him and bless him and his family. Thank you for his diligent heart in studying your word, and to dive deep and willing to ask why that. Ask the why questions. and challenging us to grow even more as we study together. Yeah, just be with us as we just do our different things. We ask this in your name. Amen. Well, guys, thank you again for another stream. Don't forget, we have Walk to Mordor. I guess I should bring that up, shouldn't I? QIU.ca/walk to Mordor. Wow, look at that. Solomon just knows where to go. All right, just as a reminder for all of you, Walk to Mordor is coming up this April, and it is a QIU general fundraiser. It is not just a graphic word fundraiser. Look, I think they changed it so that it's not just graphic word. They really did. Look at that. It's like so good. Wow, guys, they did it. Maybe. Ooh. Oh, they did. This is the new update. This looks pretty. This is good. Guys, we need to thank Dave for organizing this. Dave, you're amazing. Also, you'll note that you're going to have to choose which ministry you are fundraising for. So, yeah, all hail Dave, actually. So sign up there. You can choose who you are walking for and all that kind of stuff like that. There are agreements that you do have to go to. Now I'm curious, did he change the support? I don't know if he changed the support. Still has to donate now. We'll see. Anywho, you should sign up. QIU.ca/walk to Mordor, and specifically QIU.ca/walk to Mordor registration is where you want to go. It's a lot of fun. You're going to want to get in on it. We take walkers not just from Canada, we take walkers from the States, United States of America, as well. Solomon, if you wanted to walk this...
or you're fired.
Whoa, aggression. We do take walkers from across the pond too. So, like, you know, Solomon, if you want a cool graphic word t-shirt like that and random people going, what is that about? That's definitely the way that you can go about it. So, yeah, please consider signing up. Please consider jumping on board. We'd love to have you there. I can walk, though it may end up being a crawl at the end. That's fine, Solomon. You can commit as much walking as you want. Heck, you could ask the couple that connects with you every once in a while and be like, hey, do you mind putting this up in the church and having people sponsor my walk? I need to raise a minimum $200 Canadian. Yeah, I said it. Canadian. And Solomon's like, oh, yeah, whatever. Though after, like, dude, don't do that. Okay? Don't throw your money into this. Like, get people to support you in the walk and stuff like that. But, yeah. And you'll be getting documentation from me on what that is and stuff like that. But please, sign up. QIU.ca/walk to Mordor. I am looking for, personally, I would love to try and get 30 participants, like, under a graphic word. We had 30 total last year from different groups and stuff like that. My goal is to get 30 graphic word, period. Because that would be huge to be able to help get to our fundraising goal, which is $10,000. And so, yeah, please consider joining the Walk to Mordor and be super cool. Be nerdy for a good cause. Fight the darkness. Push the shadows back is what I like to say. And, guys, have an awesome weekend, because I'm not going to be here Friday. But keep on being awesome. Know that God loves you. And wrestle with him, okay? Dad wants to wrestle.